Henshin standbys. We've gone from this to this. Kamen Rider Saber is a little different from some seasons. While it does have some standard rider belts, a lot of the riders in this season use swords to transform. And with so many different riders came so many different styles of swords and different Henshin standbys. So with that being said, let's rank every sword and Henshin standby from Kamen Rider Saber. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Pronghorn Heroes. My name is Jem, and today we're going to be doing something a little different. I'm not really one for tier lists, but honestly, with Kamen Rider Saber having so many different riders, I really wanted to do something fun for the end of the season. We didn't post our reaction to the final episode of Saber with Kamen Rider Revice. Needless to say, we didn't enjoy that episode that much. But now that Saber's over, I really wanted to do something fun to look back on all the riders and the sounds that we got from this season, because it has some of my favorites. So without further ado, let's get into it with number 1. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, when I heard this for the very first time at the Saber press conference, I was absolutely in love with it. So to be honest, I might rank this one a little high. Let's listen to it a little bit more though. Okay, yeah, I feel like for me, this probably, it's an A tier. It's an A tier, for sure. I think it's A tier. I don't think it's S tier. It's not the best, but it's definitely one of the better ones. Because there's a few stinkers on Saber that I don't really enjoy, but the Brave Dragon base form is definitely good. Oh, by the way, this should be a good time to mention, I'm only going to be ranking the base form Henshin standbys. Primitive Dragon has a different one. Elemental Dragon has a different one. I'm pretty sure there's another one that has a different standby. Tategami Hyoju Senki has a different one. So I won't be ranking those in this list, but these are only going to be base forms only. 2. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't a big fan of this one when it debuted in the show, because to be honest, I was very excited for Rintaro and Blades as a writer and character, but then I heard the standby and it kind of like threw me back a little bit. It very much reminds me of like Waves or like Currents, which makes sense because, you know, his sword, obviously, water or sort of currents. I don't think it's too bad. Let me listen to it again real quick. Okay, you know what? It's not that bad. It's not that bad. So let's give it let's give it a B. It's a solid B. It's a solid B. Nothing to complain about. Nothing to cry about. It's okay. Let's keep going because there's a few. That's freaking hard, alright, okay? I feel like this is when they start getting hit or miss. Like, it's very good or it's not good. And Espada's standby for me for just regular, what is it? What's this thing? Lambto Alangina. For regular Lambto Alangina, it's cool. I don't hate it. I think it's very nice. I might even give it an A as well. It's definitely not S tier. But I think it's better. I think it's better than Blades, for sure. And I'm sure you're probably saying to yourself, hey Jem, why haven't you been talking about the swords yet? Well, these first 3 are all the same, let's be real. The only difference are the elements and the emblems. Like, that's the only difference that they have visually. The colors, obviously, like red, blue, and yellow, very cool. I like how they're distinct that way. But honestly, like, aesthetically, they're the same. So, like, I can't really, like, separately say what I like or dislike about them because they're the same sword. And I think if I had to judge anything or, like, rank, it would be the emblems. And, like, the emblems to me aren't that important. I thought they were going to be at the beginning of the series. But if I had to choose, like, a better emblem, I think it would be Saber's. I really like how it doesn't get in the way. Blades looks like it could be a guard for your hand, but it still kind of feels like it gets in the way when I'm holding it. The deluxe version, at least. And espadas is cool. I like the lightning. What is it? I like the lightning bolt. But I don't know. Overall, I think Saber's looks the cleanest and the most aesthetically pleasing, in my opinion. It's S tier. It's S tier. S tier 100%. S tier. I don't even have to think about this one too much. This one is S tier. Also, Gekido is absolutely amazing. The sword, it's huge. It's a big buster sword, so like, you love it. It's 100% S tier, and I will not hear any different from anybody else. Busters is very cool. I love the placement of where the book goes in, and again, that standby, I can listen to it till the cows came home. 100%. This one's actually pretty dope. I don't know. Okay, I like that. I like that. You know, I thought I was gonna rank this one like S or like no, because I didn't really like it, but it's actually going in A. I enjoy it a lot. Listening to it by itself is very cool. I like the standby a lot. I really like what they did with like the dark aspect. Like, it's supposed to be a little bit more menacing than the other ones. Gekido, surprisingly, is very party-esque. It reminds me of like the Waz standby. It's just like such a banger. But Caliber here, it's kind of back to the whole like very simplicity, kind of like dark aspect of it. There's just like a little bit of guitar, and I like that. Kuriyami for me is one of the most coolest looking swords in Kamen Rider Saber. So I'm definitely ranking this an A. Just for both of the aspects. They're really cool and I like it a lot. Okay, S tier, yeah, or A tier, yeah, I definitely think it's really cool. I don't really want to talk about the deluxe toys that much because obviously they're all pretty small compared to what we see in the show, but Kuriyami is the biggest disappointment when it comes to that aspect. Damn, okay, again, I thought I was gonna rank this a little lower. It's good. It's cool, but I think I'm gonna rank it B because like I'm not a huge ninja guy. All the ninja seasons are like cool because I like the characters and stuff like that, but like I don't love ninja seasons because they're ninja themed. So with Kenzan, I liked what he brought to the table, fighting style wise, and I love his little thing with Desast, obviously. But as far as a standby, like, it definitely has that ninja vibe to it, and it's not my favorite per se, so I'm definitely gonna give it a B. As far as Hayate as a sword, I really like the design. I like how it's two swords. Unfortunately, when it is two swords, it doesn't look that great. I feel like swords kind of the swords look a little thin to me personally, so when I see it and when I see him fighting with them, I just feel like it doesn't look that great compared to like all the other ones, you know, like even the trio Seiken swords look really good when they're fighting. I just don't know what it is about the actual sword coming apart that makes it look super weak, but I like the design, I guess. Hands down another S tier one. It's like it's such a bop, and then it has like, you know, that goes like, it goes like up. Oh, I love that a lot. Honestly, like, Suzune as a sword is absolutely amazing. Like, standby aside, it is a sword, but it also becomes a bayonet. Has that gun mode, so I really like that aspect. And honestly, it is pink, and I love pink riders, female, male, I love them all. So I have to give this one an S tier. It has an amazing Henshin standby, and again, the pink design. Suzune is just absolutely one of my favorite swords. Also, the Swordsman of Sound. I love sounds. Obviously, I'm making this video about Henshin standbys, so as a music lover, I totally love this sword and swordsman. I thought it was really cool to have a Swordsman of Sound. I expected all the other elements, but to have one with music was very cool. Got another S tier. Thank you, bucko. Alright, I don't know about anybody else, but when I hear that, I think of Thomas Jujube's end screen. He used to have this as like the end music for his videos, so whenever I hear this now, I just think of that. Shout out to Thomas Jujube. This one isn't my favorite. I'm not gonna lie. This, I really don't like it that much. I think this might be the first and only no, just because it's kind of annoying in my opinion. Like yeah, like I'm annoyed from it quickly. Saikou as a sword is very cool. Obviously him being, that's like his base form essentially for Yuri. So that's kind of weird. I will say though that I do enjoy the fact that it's in the belt. You open up the sword, you put the book in, and then you flip the sword out. That then opens up the book. I really, really enjoy that. Sound and look of the sword. Let's put it in C. I think C is where it needs to be. The sword's okay. Again, I like that aspect of how it opens, but the Henshin standby isn't the best. It's funny because so far all of my opinions towards the Henshin standbys and the look of the swords have all kind of like paired up, but this one it's kind of like, oh, I kind of like the look more than I love the Henshin standby. However, if we were talking about x-swordsman, one second. I'm gonna give this one a B. I think it's very good. I think it's not an A. I really like the A's and I love the S's. But the x-swordsman is just cool. You know, it's like okay. It's kind of like Blades and Rens. Like, they're okay. I don't love them. I really thought Rens was going to be a no. That's why I added that category. The no category was for the B's, but somehow I ended up liking them now. Again, I thought this was going to be a C. I thought this was going to be lower, but hearing it in my ears like this up close, like, it's kind of dope. Like, I'm getting hype. I'm getting hyped for it. So I think I'm going to give it an A. Now, obviously, Kyomu is just like a repaint or just like a retooled version of the original Seiken for the trio. However, I like the orange and black design a lot. Also, the scanning aspect is down more, kind of like Kuriyami, not like the original trio Seikens where it's like up top on the tip. I really like that design. The belt itself is okay. I'm not going to ponder on that too much. But overall, the standby and the sword get an A for me, for sure, without a doubt. I really enjoy it. I want that belt so bad. Two of my favorite characters were in that suit and have used this belt. Desast and Bahat. I love the actor for Bahat. And Desast, I fell in love with him throughout the show, so I need that one day. So for Subila and Durandal, maybe for some other ones, the actual toys aren't released yet at the time of this recording, so the sound quality of these next few are going to be like hit or miss. You know? This one gives me like heavy like Nightmare Before Christmas vibes, like Halloween type, like, ooh, spookiness, spookiness, dot 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 dot. Wait, that's Christmas. Okay, regardless. I really like this one a lot. It has a really cool jingle to it. If I was ranking like the jingles, like the that would be S. That's S tier. That's cool, but that shit's fucking amazing. Nodoshi, the sword, is absolutely so sick. The fact that it's a sword of smoke totally, again, like kind of like the swordsman of sound, subverted my expectations of what I was expecting for different types of swordsmen in this season. Swordsmen in this season. You guys know what I'm saying. So for that, I'm going to give Subila a B. It's a solid B. But again, that's just the standby. The look of the sword, I feel like it's cool. I think I like more that it's the sword of smoke more than the look of it itself. Like with Gekido, I really like the look of it, but aesthetically, I really wanted more out of this sword. I love the guard. I think that's really cool on it. And I love Subila's fighting style. I think that's really interesting. I also love the buttons around like the sword and like how she does the finisher and stuff, but the look itself is like okay. So I think that's where I'm gonna steer towards B. just because the look of it and the Henshin standby on its own is like, meh. Now here's a funny thing for Durandal. Durandal actually has 2 Henshin standbys. One when he puts the book in, and then another when he takes the blade out for it to become a trident. The first one's like, no. Like, it's absolutely like, meh. Like, this one, nah. It's like, what's even happening, right? Wasn't me, dude. Wasn't me. Nah, that's an easy no. I will say this. Durandal's sword / staff / trident thing is really cool, but there's like 17 different versions that they use in the show. They use the toy version, they use a bigger version, and then they use like the fucking mop pole rod that's like super thin. I can't judge it on that fact whatsoever, but it honestly kind of takes away my excitement from the sword. However, Sophia really likes this one a lot, and I can imagine us getting it one day. However, it's not one of my favorites. To be honest, I like that it's time themed. I wasn't expecting the time aspect of it whatsoever. I like that it can be a sword and a trident, but overall it doesn't really do it for me. I'm gonna put it in no, just because like overall I don't really love the sounds. The sounds aren't that great, if I'm being honest, for the Henshin, right? I don't want to talk about finisher sounds because that could be another video, but just by the swords, it would probably be lower as well. Like, I like the trident, but again, it's too confusing sometimes that I don't really care. There's other swords that I can love instead of Kaiji, I think the name is. I don't even care that much, honestly. So that's my point. And overall, Durandal was kind of like a bland character, let's be real. Okay, so at the time of this recording, Solomon's book isn't really out yet for the public, so I don't know if that's the real standby. If it is, it's trash. So we're gonna put that in no for now. Boop, and just hang out over here with Kaiji. You guys can like get to know each other. You guys were cool throughout the show. It kind of makes me feel a little weird. I don't really like it. It makes me feel like uncomfortable, honestly. And maybe that's what they were going for, but I don't like that much. And he doesn't have a sword, so let's put that in. Let's put it in C, because I think it's not as bad as the other ones, but it's not good. So let's put that in C real quick. Now let's take a look at the list and see if I like what we got here. So in S tier we got Gekido and Suzune with probably the best standbys that Saber has to offer, in my opinion. Saber's is one of my all-time favorites, but to be honest, there's better ones out there, like the Buster one and like the Slash one. But Saber's is very cool. I do enjoy it a lot, and every time I hear it, it just brings me back to this show. So I would put it in S, but I think A is where it should be. And obviously in the no, we got Kaiji and the Master Logos book, which is obviously like whatever. Seeing all these here really makes me think of how much I really loved these characters from this season. There's a lot of characters that I wish had more development in the show, but obviously with so many different characters, it's kind of hard to give everybody a little something. Thinking about all the things we got this season really puts into perspective how much work went into this show and how much they were trying to sell, because there's so many swords with all different types of styles and sounds and like genres, I would say. And I think that's really cool to experiment with. And Kamen Rider 01 had a lot of different Henshin standbys as well, which I would love to do a video about. If you guys like this type of video, let me know in the comments. Hit that like button or whatever. I'm horrible at doing that stuff. And with that being said, the best Henshin standby for Kamen Rider Saber has to go to Primitive Dragon. See you guys later.